Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Follow Suit Fashion Unfiltered. And to all my first-time viewers, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what Follow Suit is all about. The name Follow Suit is a mantra, meaning to follow the suit. And as you follow the suit, you're going to come to realize that the suit is a role model and also a father figure whose purpose is to give guidance to the young men of this community as well as our society. And it is my goal to salute and honor some of the men who have been doing the work. And as you will see, not only do they follow suit, but they actually put the suit on and they wear it well. Hence the point, my guest today that I'm honored to have is Mr. Francis O'Brien. How you doing, brother?
Good afternoon. Glad to be here.
Oh, man, this is my pleasure having you here today, man. You're like what they say, you're a golden pillar of this community here in Boston.
Well, I guess I get that after my uncle John D. O'Brien. And he was an educator, and it's part of the family, John D. O'Brien was the first black elected to the Boston School Committee.
Yes, sir.
And then he had two twin brothers, Manuel O'Brien and Sam O'Brien. And it's funny because they call the O'Briens like the Kennedys. and Manuel O'Brien, he worked for the Labor Department. He was in charge of the Labor Department here in Boston, Massachusetts. And Sam O'Brien was working for the state as a hearing officer.
Loosen up, because we're going to get thick with this one here. Like I said, I'm sitting with a legend, so I got to loosen up. Okay, so you know the show's called Follow Suit Fashion Unfiltered, so we're going to start off in the fashion realm, and then we're going to spin it forward. So, of course, I want to know, who did you get your style from, your sense of style? Because you're looking very well.
I got my style from my grandfather. I didn't have a father, but my grandfather, I had custom-made suits when I was 11 years old. So I thought I was the cat's meow. But, he taught me well, and the values about dressing up, as far as cleanliness, nails done, all the way down to suit ties and everything. And, at an early age, and today I keep up the tradition. And, I love to dress.
Right.
I love to dress. I love fashion.
Okay. So I would take, who taught you how to tie the tie?
Oh, my grandfather.
Grandfather, I figured that.
Grandfather did. He taught me everything from soup to nuts. Man.
Okay. So, shoes. Now, there's a preference. There's a bunch of styles of shoes. There's cap toe. There's wingtips. There's monk strap. I see you got on a nice pair of monk straps here.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite?
Oh man, just about every shoe. I'm a shoe fanatic.
Okay.
I'm a shoe fanatic.
You right up my alley then. We going
from tats, black and white spats, blue shoes, anything, suede shoes, everything. I think to be a well-dressed person, you have to have shoes for different occasions, even casual shoes that look nice.
Right.
And I love shoes, so I mean. I got to find some more room in my house.
Well, let me take you back to you as a young man. You know what age it was when you went and brought your first pair of shoes, when you actually earned the money and went and brought your first pair of shoes?
I bought when I was 16 years old. After I graduated from high school, I bought my first suit and shoes and ties. My grandfather said, look, your 5 basic suits. Black, gray, brown, and blue. So now you get your basic shoes, same black, all the shoes the same color as your suits, and your ties. So he says, once a month, you buy your shirt, you buy a tie, you then buy a suit. So that's how you build your wardrobe up, and then you build your casual clothes, like jeans or whatever. But your basic, he says, man of your character, you should, when starting out, you should at least have 5 basic suits, the basic colors, and the shoes. And then you have a tie, and then the shirts, and then you start going to different categories as far as the blue shirt with the white collar, cuffs, everything.
Right.
And the socks.
Yes,
so
gotta
all that
socks.
stuff, and just putting things together, perspective, and then you have your own identity. But, I love suits and I love to dress.
Okay, so we're going to say on the subject of suits, single-breasted, double-breasted?
Single-breasted, double-breasted, but me, I like the single-breasted more.
Yeah.
Because I'm big, but now I've lost a lot of weight, so now I'm in the transition. Now I have to change my whole wardrobe. But anyways, I love the double-breasted too, and also the single-breasted. then you have your sweaters. You kind of mismatch what you want to wear.
Right. So basically, sometimes the suit could be just what the occasion is, what you want
Right.
to wear, single or the double, right?
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to spin into, like I said, you're like a golden pillar in this community. So we're going to talk about Francis and who is Francis and all the stuff that you've been doing. And like I said, this show is about inspiring young men to dress for success, also inspiring their mind and giving them something to get them to change their way of thinking and get out of the streets. And hopefully we touch one young man's life. And if I do that, I'm doing my job. And so that's what we're going to do, because you've been doing a lot of work with young men for a lot of years. So we're going to spin into that aspect of this interview right now. Mm-hmm. So give them the spill of what Francis O'Brien is doing.
Well, Francis O'Brien, born and raised in Dorchester. Been living in the same house for the past 64 years. It was my grandparents' house. And just to know that a pillar in the community, lifelong residents of Boston, Massachusetts. And my thing was to give you a feedback. When I first started working, I worked at the State House, the Black Legislative Caucus. And then from there I went to the courthouse. And then I worked at the courthouse. I was a court officer for 36 years, Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Right.
And then I retired in 2016. So my thing was, I got to give something back. And I get this from my uncle, because when he ran for a school committee or politicians, we used to go door to door and handing out things, and he was always an educator. He was the vice president of Northeastern University, John D. O'Brien Afro-American Center, till today, and they have a couple of schools named after him. So his part was the education, and he taught us how to be young men and groomed, along with my grandfather. But I said, I got to do something, because working in the court system, there was guys I went to school with, see them in the system. So I said, I think it's time for me to do something, to give something back. And, some of it very successful, but I said I have to come up with a thing, the Francis O'Brien Mentorship Program, where we teach life skills, basic as far as grooming, self-education, how to, from boyhood to manhood.
Yes, sir.
I think it's very important. And, a lot of kids think about playing basketball, but there's other things you can do, be very successful.
Right.
And I think it's on us that we have to teach these young men the proper way as far as dress for success, and the education part. Man, there's so much things going on now in the world today. There's a lot of things that forthcoming. I mean, if you look back 50 years ago, you go to school, you go to college, you graduate, you get an education. But now there's so much stuff opening up that these young people should be able to do. And I said, you know what? I didn't have a father, but I had a grandfather.
Right.
And he taught me the values of life and success. And as far as dressing and be well known in the community and everything, just to open up a broad base of stuff that we should have, and to teach these young men coming up. It's sad you see them, going to jail, and you feel bad. Some they're good kids.
Right.
So I think it's on us to teach these young men. And then the other part is the mothers want to say, well, where the fathers at, So that's basically my part, is teaching somebody. If I get to one person, change one life, make a difference one life at a time.
Yes,
that's
sir.
my motto. But I think it's very crucial now, and there's more advanced stuff that's going on now. If you look back, we struggle. But there's a lot of things that open up, basic jobs, engineering, cooking, chefs, anything, and that's the field that, we should be able to help one another and
Right.
take care of our community.
Yes, sir.
Do
you have a certain age that
my
you start
my
to
age,
get
a
the
certain
kids?
age, I start with the middle school kids, ages from 8 to 15.
Okay. 8 to 15. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Good
That's
start.
8 years old, like I said. And Do you have a location?
Yes, well, we was at the Barksway Boys and Girls Club on Yaqui Way, so with the pandemic, it kind of shut everything down last year. So we're just waiting to get word to go back in there. Hopefully we go back in there, get an answer by the end of August. And I run a 12-week program on Saturday mornings, and the hours are from 9 to 1 o'clock. They get a breakfast, and we teach them life skills, get to know each other, and then we bring people who come in and speak. We do a couple of civil engagements. There's one that we take them to the jail, Suffolk County Jail, and the other one we feed the homeless. And this year we added a couple of other things as far as black comic, art books, karate, essays, financial literacy for the banks. The Webster Bank is one of our sponsors. And just do stuff in the community. Then we did a lot of collaborations with No Books and No Basketball for the Mother's Day. 40 kids from our group, 40 kids from No Books and No Basketball, and we honor the mothers. And what we do is we teach the young men how to tie ties. And then when that day of the event, of the Mother's Day event we have the young men serve their mother.
Right.
So they can sit down and the mothers can enjoy the program. They get a bouquet of flowers and a plaque, and we honor a mother, a grandmother. And it's been very successful, so we're looking forward to do it this year. Last year was cut short because of the pandemic, but this year I'm looking forward to it, and just try to keep our fingers crossed, because, you know, right now with the COVID and talking about the surge going on, you know, it's kind of hard to plan things.
Right.
Because last year we was in the midst of having a job fair, because we like to give each kid a resume, you know, and also it's very important with the ties. The tie is a tool, and you know, you could be dressed up and the other person might not be, but you have a better chance of getting that job than the other person is.
That's right.
And that's the value we try to teach these young men.
Exactly.
It's very important.
I tell them all the time. I have my coach on here, Dennis Wilson, and that's the one thing that he taught us about. You never get a second chance to make that first impression.
Right.
And he always said he came walking into practice with the suit on and the tie on and said, "Sir, this is how I want you to go for that first interview."
That's right.
And that stuck with me ever since, you know.
Well cleaned and groomed, you know.
Yes, sir. And definitely, not to cut you off. So I was going to say, how long has your program been going on?
We'll be in our fourth year. Fourth
okay.
year. And I'm looking forward to it. It's something that we do, and we keep touch with the kids during the summertime. This year was kind of tough with the pandemic, you know, but I'm looking forward to roll up the sleeves and bring speakers in, talk to the young men, and just go from there.
Okay. So, you know, a lot of people I know probably who are watching right now and who's going to watch, they're going to keep saying, "I know that face. I know him. I know him." See, like I said, because he's a big golden pill in his community. So besides all that work he's done, he's always been a part of the, I would say, the foundation of Boston. And you have a big tie to Boston, which everybody loves, is the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because now everybody's going to say, I knew him.
It's funny because, you know, I started with the Boston Celtics in 1970. I was 11 years old as a ball boy. And for the past it'd be 51 years in October. And I had various jobs, very different positions. And right now, I've been working in team services, basketball operation liaison. And, you know, it's funny, it's like a dream come true.
Right.
You know, because you always want to play sports and you figure you'd be the hometown person to play basketball.
Right.
But I was a ball boy for 6 years with the Celtics, and then grown up into operation liaison. But, you know, it's funny, you look at the things that you've done over the years, and still today, I still can't believe I've been with the Celtics, a well-known franchise.
Right.
You know,
Probably the best franchise in history.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
You
17
can't
years,
deny it. You got to put it out there like that.
17-time champion Boston Celtics, and you know, the thing about it is, you know, I might not play the game, but I have 6 rings, so that's, you know, that's fun. You know, I probably could have had 7. You know, we missed out a couple of years, but I enjoy it, and met a lot of players.
A lot of legends. You been around a lot of legends.
Legends, and I'm in the process of right now writing a book, and it's going to be called The Chocolate Shamrock.
I like that. That's great.
You know, probably people excuse me say, "Well, you probably the guy to shut the water off by ready to give you all the answers, shut the water off, turn the heat off."
Yeah. So like I said, it's my pleasure having you here to share some of that history with us, and also to grace my studio, with just the person that you are and the person that I know that you are. And you said O'Brien, so the high school.
Yeah, John D. O'Brien.
John D. O'Brien, this is your grandfather or uncle?
That's my uncle,
That's
John D.
your uncle.
O'Brien.
And a lot of people don't even know that.
No.
A lot of people don't know that we have a school right here in the heart of Roxbury,
Yes.
named after a black man.
Yep. You know,
And here's his lineage sitting right here in front of me.
that's my uncle, John D. O'Brien.
Yep. And you're carrying the lineage well, and I appreciate all that you've done, all that you're doing and continue to do. I wish you much success, and it's my pleasure having you on the show, and I just want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I'd like to come back again.
Sure, definitely, anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this segment of Follow Suit Fashion Unfiltered. Stay tuned, we got more coming for you. We're gone.